Thank you, Representative Lundy. I'm Dan Ramos, State Representative from Lorain County, Lorain City. It's good to be here during Sunshine Week, a week that's dedicated to government transparency, but it's interesting that we still need to have such a thing, that we still need to be reminded at the state level, in the state of Ohio, that transparency is not just a good idea, it should be and needs to be the law, and it needs to be the right of every citizen to see what's happening in their government. One of the most basic ways that we can work on that is by actually allowing the people to see what's happening. The House broadcasts, records, and posts online House sessions, but public broadcast committee hearings can be determined by the whim or the will of a single elected official, the chairman of the committee. Too often the public has been shut out of seeing the work of their elected officials in Columbus. We have both the technology and the capacity to broadcast committees already. The taxpayers purchased the equipment to do this years ago. House Bill 562 during the 127th General Assembly, and the necessary renovations to accommodate the equipment was made in 1996. Taking action to put into place a uniform policy in regards to committee broadcasts is far overdue. The ability to inform the public of the actions of their elected officials comes at a critical juncture in the lawmaking process. As we all know, most of the work that's done on a bill is done before it is done in the committee process. It's not done on the House floor. The public's experts and stakeholders have the opportunity to weigh in the committee process and provide their opinions to lawmakers on issues being considered. And Ohioans have a vested interest in seeing this and in knowing how the government works, or in some cases, doesn't work. Not everyone has time to drive to Columbus or to sit around the State House all day in hopes of hearing a certain specific bill, but this shouldn't exclude them from being involved in the process. State legislatures across the country already adhere to this practice. 36 states provide audio and or video broadcasts. 28 provide archived webcasts for committee hearings. In Ohio, during the first 6 months of 2003, we wisely chose, the House wisely decided to broadcast state budget hearings, which are still available online. However, now, as we're going through a second budget process of this General Assembly with the NPR, Ohioans should have those same assurances, have that same ability to see what's going on, how their tax dollars are being spent, whether the bill is being heard in the Finance Committee, which does broadcast, or state government policy oversight or Ways and Means. For example, last week when the NPR started in Ways and Means, the meeting was a budget hearing in the budget hearing room where the cameras for the budget are already set up and there were hoods over the cameras so that the people couldn't see, just because it happened to be one committee versus the other, even though it's the same subject matter. Taxpayers quite simply have a right to know what their employees are up to. We shouldn't be picking and choosing what is and what is not made available to the public. And continuing along that line of picking and choosing what taxpayers have access to, I'll now turn it over to my colleague, Representative Barbara, to discuss a new concept in Columbus.